You have just visited the Candy Swick and Company website. We'd like to thank you for visiting. And we have a special guest today, and that special guest is Robert W. Brown, better known as Rob. And Rob is the Vice President of Atlas Insurance Company. And we've asked him here today as a great resource for information about insurance. So Rob, why don't you tell us a little bit about Atlas Insurance and what makes you the best resource that's out there?
The best, huh? Well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Atlas has been in Sarasota since 1955, so we've withstood that test of time. It's a family-run agency, so we have roots in this area. And
you said family-run. Who started Atlas Insurance?
My grandfather started it in 1953. I'm actively the managing partner. Some might wonder if I'm actually doing anything, but
you've got the hard job.
And I took over the management from my father, who's still in the agency and still performing some duties for us. So
that's very good.
Giving guidance.
That's good. So it started with grandfather to father to son, and I understand
exactly.
we have. It's a bigger company than just three
Yes.
people. How many people are in your employee?
We have 35 employees. We're fortunate to have 4 partners, 2 non-Brown family partners. Darren Howard joined the agency, and his brother-in-law Tom Coaches is also with us, and both actively producing business and helped me on some of the management.
So tell me what kind of insurance that you offer, because the reason we have you here is we deal, of course, in real estate, and people
Right.
have lots of questions if they're a first home buyer or they're a very experienced, sophisticated person that has multiple properties. But what kind of insurance does your company cover?
The agency has always done both personal and commercial. Personal lines being homeowners, automobile, boats, second homes, rental properties, personal type rental properties, as well as umbrella insurance. We also do the commercial lines, commercial buildings, workers' comp, various types of business, contractors, restaurants, and as well as the employee benefits side. And
is there any type of insurance that you don't do?
Thank you for asking. The one area that we don't have a presence in is mobile home insurance.
Okay,
for the individuals. We do actually some mobile home communities, just not the individual homes. Right.
Okay. Is there anything else, as we wrap up here, that you would like the visitors to the website to know?
First, I would say, in Florida, just one of the perils of being in Southwest Florida is the flood insurance, or the likelihood of needing flood. Flood insurance on the primary basis is available through the National Flood Insurance Program, which is a section of the federal government that all winds up with the folks at FEMA in one way, shape, or another, and it truly is an act of Congress. But it covers the first $250,000 of building coverage on your home and $100,000 on contents. And one of the lessons we in the insurance business have learned as a result of Hurricane Katrina is that's not enough in a lot of cases. So there is in the what we call the surplus market, after the National Flood Insurance Program, there are markets that will sell you flood insurance above that. It is more readily available than it ever has been in my recollection. So that's an area that you may have bought flood insurance but not have enough in the case of a catastrophic loss like the folks in Mississippi had with Katrina and of course New Orleans.
In flood insurance, what is flood insurance for? The rain comes through my roof?
The way I remember it is Noah's Ark. It's rising water.
Specifically
rising water. And I will have people call with a broken hose or for their dishwasher, and they'll say, I've had a flood. And I say, no, you've had a water damage. But, subtle nuance in the insurance. But flood is rising water,
so
a general condition of rising water. Right.
So I'm in a condominium and the person above leaks down on me. That's not flood insurance. That's
Correct.
falling water.
Right. That's water damage. And
that's excellent. That helps tremendously. Wind insurance, because that's a big issue in Florida. What is that for?
Okay. Wind is just that, all wind, and it does include hurricane, but hurricane's treated a little differently. So in some cases, the wind may have to be purchased separate from the homeowner's policy. So you may see a policy for wind and hail. Typically, they're not separated. And I mentioned hurricane, and it is specific to hurricane. There are certain deductibles that apply, and there are percentage deductibles, so we should probably talk about that. 'Cause the first-time home buyer or any home owner should be aware of their percentage deductibles and how they impact them. But any wind would be covered under a wind policy. Typically, it's a flat deductible, $500 or $1,000 or maybe $2,500 for wind until you get to hurricane. So if it's over 75 miles an hour, you're into the hurricane zone. And then the percentage deductibles kick in, and those might be 2 to 5%.
2 to 5% of the replacement value of your home?
Great point. It's of the insured value.
Ah, okay.
So, and the frequent misconception is that it's the value, 2% of the amount of loss, but it's of the insured value.
So my home is $200,000. So
make the math easy for me.
Yeah,
okay.
My home is $100,000. Okay. So if my home is $100,000 and it's 2% of that,
right,
then my deductible, and they're not going to pay me
right,
anything until I get over $2,000.
Correct. That's right.
Okay. I think
exactly
this
right.
is so important
right.
for people to know. And most people just shop for who's got the least expenses.
Right.
I'm not really sure they get educated so they make good decisions.
Right. Well, and that goes into the value of which company works best for you. If you've gotten past the AM Best and they've got a good rating and they've got the ability to pay their claims and they've got adjusters in the field, maybe they've had some catastrophe experience, which would be wonderful. And one company's, if the prices are about the same and one's a 5% deductible and one's a 2%, obviously at the time of a loss, the 2 is going to look a lot better. In some cases, especially when you get into higher value homes, there are no choices. You're at a 5%. I've even seen 10%.
Wow.
So, and it's easy to say 5%, but when you look at it and say, well, that's $5,000, it's
a little bit different.
You might not have that in the readies.
Yeah. So,
okay.
I'm really pleased that you were here. There's so much more to cover than we have time for. We'll post some further information on the website for you, and we're also going to have Rob's email and his phone number and his company, so that if you have those questions, he's an excellent resource for us. And Rob,
well, thank you very much for having me.
Appreciate it.